Hi, this is Lady Lex UK, and this is Project Winter Week 4. This is where I build an RPG in Twitch. And this is day 10. We only had 2 days this week, so Wednesday and Thursday. So this is Wednesday. I decided to build my forest. So this is the forest that goes between Thorn Run, our village, and Greyminster, the town. This is where the wolves are going to live. And I decided to build a sort of winding path in the snow there and create some sort of canopy over the top with a leaf gadget. So I used quite a lot of Dreamverse assets. I decided I wasn't going to try and make my own trees at this point. There's lots of trees in the Dreamverse to use, and a lot of them are low thermo, so that's what I decided. So I'm trying out a lot of things. Somebody suggested I banked up the sides of the path, and that was a really great idea. That allows me to get some height. It also gives us a barrier for the player, so it's perfect. So that's what I'm doing there. I'm banking up the path. I went through a few selections of trees, trying a few things out. Some of them worked, some of them didn't. Some of them was the wrong colours, and a few of them were animated, which was a little bit too much. This is a great tree, but when I went into play mode, it wiggled. It sort of looked really peculiar. But what I'm very happy about was this leaf litter that I used as covering for the banks. It looks fantastic. It really looks great. So there's the wiggling trees, which I couldn't stop making wiggle, so I deleted them, decided to go for something else. So here I am covering the banks with the leaf in 2 different colours. I'm very pleased with that. It looks really cool. I really like these trees. These prove to be a bit of a problem. Now, when you're making something, people worry very much about the thermo, but they concentrate on the graphic thermo, and we have a tool, an optimizing tool for the graphic thermo, but we don't have an optimizing tool for the gameplay thermo. And if you've used a lot of clones within your sculpt, so for example, trees are a good example. When you make a tree with lots of separate branches and you just clone the branches and build it up, that causes the sculpt to have a lot of gameplay thermo within it, and every time you clone that tree, it adds to the gameplay thermo. It literally doubles up every time, and this is where people say I've run out of thermo. Quite often it's not the graphics, it's gameplay. So it's better to, when you make your prop, to try and make it as one sculpt as much as possible, to stop that being an issue. Obviously there is a trade-off between graphics thermo and gameplay thermo, but it can be more successful if you concentrate on keeping the gameplay thermo down as well as the graphics thermo. So I had a little bit of an issue here. My graphics thermo, as you can see, the gameplay thermo, you can see the pink gauge at the top there. That is filling up fast, and it was one particular tree that was causing the problem. And I didn't notice it at the time I was building this, but it's something I needed to correct on the Thursday, removing the tree and replacing it, which is a shame because it was a really nice tree. So we're getting somewhere with this forest. I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. Like you said, I'm replacing that white at the top there for some darker green. The stones and everything that I'm using, these are medium molecule temple stones, but use them correctly. I know it's the same stone, but you don't notice when you're going around that it's a cloned stone. Cover it with some leaves and stuff. It looks fantastic. This was built up really quickly. Obviously in 2 hours I managed to build my forest. And there's a little bit more to do here, and it needs to be filled out with trees and things. But it's amazing how quickly, if you use reverse assets, you can build up a really nice scene. But you see the gameplay thermo there, it's getting higher and higher and higher. It's really, really worrying. And I was like, ooh, this is not good, but let's do it, and then we can adjust it afterwards. There we are, look I've noticed now. But we'll put everything in. So we've got the fog and everything. I've still got fog to put in. So this isn't a finished item after 2 hours. They'll be needed to be tweaked and fiddled about with, but we're getting the gist here of something that looks quite cool. Now a lot of people sent me wolves, and I ended up picking a simple one in the end for this particular forest, but that doesn't mean I won't be using any of the others as well. But here we go, here's a trip through the forest. I think this is looking quite cool. Covered bits and uncovered bits, and we get to the end there. I decided it's probably a good idea to put a sign in, and also maybe some houses through the trees. So I experimented with a few options. Ended up with quite a bright lit up house, which looked quite cool, and just gives you the impression that there's a town beyond, which will be Greydminster. Of course, Greydminster town is going to need to be made as a set, and I may or may not use those houses that I've used there. So here's the run through the forest that I made. As you can see, there's little bits of it I've got from fog in, but I sort of only have it at the beginning. I need to add some more fog, I think, going down this path. But as you can see, the path is painted on. It's just a painted effect onto that white, and that looks quite effective. I might need to define the path a little bit more, maybe put some gravel in or something. This is early days with this set, but I think this is looking quite good. I like the rocks, the way the trees are in the path and then on the side, and you really got a sense of it being a natural environment, which I really like. Like I say, needs to be some additions put into this, but I do a little bit more work on it on the Thursday. But this is the run so far. Everything needs to be tweaked, because obviously when I'm building it in a Twitch stream, I'm not spending that much time. There we go, past the sign, and somewhere around at this point, this is where it will link to Greydminster. So that was quite successful, I think. Right, so now we're into day 11. So this was Thursday's stream, and a lot of logic on this stream. I tackled the wolf. This needs a lot of work because I went into the stream with no plan, and trying to do logic without any plan as to what it is I wanted to achieve was a little bit difficult. So I got somewhere with it. So I put in some animations for the wolf, and also put in a randomizer there so that it would randomly walk around and turn and things and then attack our player. So a lot of fiddling about with the follower gadget, and I managed to get it so that it would attack our player, but then the player had no chance of getting away, and the the wolf is constantly on him. So all of that needs to be looked at and redone. But we were getting somewhere with the wolf, so I need to go back to it and make a lot more effort and work out what it is I want to do. But it was quite fun. I got it to do biting motions and growling and attacking and running about. So it was pretty cool. But like I say, I need to go back to that another day and really plan him out properly. So after I'd decided to do the wolf another time, I went back into my forest and examined the issue with the tree and the gameplay. So I've removed all of the offending tree, and then thought, well, how am I going to go into the tree itself and see if I can remix it so that it is not as thermo heavy with the gameplay. I had difficulty finding it. It's interesting. It looks completely different in the thumbnail than it actually does when you place it down. So I had difficulty finding it. Anyway, there it is. And I looked at it, and it's like all of these are cloned. These are cloned branches. They're not done with paint. That is a sculpture. And just copying loads of these, this is what's causing the gameplay issue. So I could have thinned out I thought maybe I could thin out the branches. Then I thought, well, actually, no, the way it's made is causing the problem. It's the fact that it's cloned. So I decided to take the tree. I just used the trunk part. I had a look and see how it was made, pull it apart, and it's just made with like a flattened sphere, and so I added leaves just as one sculpt to my tree. I deleted the tree, and then I copied. So there is some cloning in there, but there's like 3 clones, not clones of every single branch, and that meant that I didn't have the problem with it now. So here is my newly, it's not as nice as the other one, obviously, but in terms of thermo, I can use it, and the other one I couldn't. So it's a little bit more fiddling about, and I decided to make the entrance to our forest and link up the village and the forest together, putting in some doorways. Now I had some issues with the dialogue gadget not wanting to link to the doorway. I thought that the button presses were independent of the player, and so that if you had that active, that it wouldn't depossess your puppet and that sort of thing. But no, not true. There's a lot of faffing about trying to get that to work. So I decided in the end to forego using a dialogue box and just go with some text. I had more control over it then. So I'm still trying to attempt it here, but it's not really working. I end up giving up on that and just using text boxes. But here I am making my first dream for Project Winter, linking the Thorn Run to the forest. Realising I needed a double door, 2-way door. And I think at this point we just giving up on the dialogue text display. At some point, I just decided it's just not worth the bother trying to get it to deactivate the player and all sorts of things that I want it to do. It's just easier just not to bother with the dialogue box at all. Have different buttons. Now, there was a little bit of discussion about which buttons to use to exit, which buttons for yes and which buttons for no. Now, it seemed to me obvious that the no button should be a cross, because that's no. That's well, the circle was yes, and everybody's like, well, no, it's cross for affirmative and back for is circle. It's like, well, yeah, that makes sense, but then it looks really weird when you've got the words yes and the no is not a cross. So it's interesting. What do you use? So cross for X and triangle for no. It's who knows? I don't know what I ended up with in the end. It just seemed weird to me to have yes with a cross next to it. No with a cross next to it made more sense to me. So I think that's what I ended up with in the end. So this took a lot longer than I was hoping to link the two together. I also put barriers in to stop him from going too far, so that he has to put in the option. Do you want to leave? And I did eventually get it working, but it was a pain in the backside because you have to go backwards and forwards. You have to save, and then you go into the next thing and save, and then go to the next thing and save. It was just update, save, update, save, update, save. It is a pain in the butt trying to do this sort of type of thing. This is where I get rid of the dialogue text displayer as a bad idea. Just scrap it and go for a text box. It was causing so much trouble trying to deactivate the player controls so that you didn't do other things. And like I say, backwards and forwards. So that was it. That was what we did in Project Winter. We added a forest and linked it up. So hope you enjoyed the stream if you watched it. If not, I'll catch you this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when I do my Twitch stream. I'll see you there. 2:00. Bye.